This is the Evil Never Dies podcast with Brett and Carl. This podcast may contain adult themes, violence, and strong language. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome back to episode 294 of the Evil Never Dies podcast. I'm Brett here with Carl. What's going on, man? Besides working on the haunt.
Well, it's been a hell week.
Yeah,
We're going to start with Video Bob, who everybody hears us talk about all the time. I knew him in high school. Used to be co-host of his shows on public access. He moved to Vegas a few years ago and bought this badass house. Well, unfortunately, they had a fire, and it was a bad fire. They were okay, but he lost a lot of stuff in the fire, and it pretty much has destroyed the house. They're going to have to redo the whole thing. So I'm got to send positive vibes out to Video Bob and Rachel. Then it gets worse. Last night, as we tape this, coming home from work downtown Fort Worth, I see smoke in my neighborhood. I thought maybe the school had caught on fire. It was so big. And I get home and Brett's in the haunt and we're just sort of chit chatting. I'm like, there's a fire, Brett. And, and looking on Facebook, the neighborhood pages, I couldn't figure out where it was. My nephew called. It was my sister's house. My brother-in-law's truck exploded. He's okay. He had some burns. And it caught not only their house, but their neighbor's house on fire. And they're both gone. They've lost everything. My sister, my brother-in-law, and their neighbor. So lots of blessings are needed. Had some of the closest people to me have a very similar tragedy. It's been a very heartbreaking day.
Yeah, within 24 hours.
Yeah.
Shit.
So I don't really have the words. I thought about making a video about it, and I just didn't. We're still trying to figure out what to do. And I've been sick all week with this cough.
Yeah, I know.
So, but I'm gonna tell you what, my brother-in-law is a damn trooper. He got out of a truck that exploded, got out of the fire with he has some burns, and he's a Vietnam vet. I guess he's been in helicopter crashes, and he took this thing just like a champ. He's definitely shook up, but that's Allison Chainsaw and the Rooster. Well, that's Larry Brown right there. Ain't found a way to kill me yet. So tough dude, guy's a hero. I fucking was in that house last night after the burning stopped and cut my finger real bad, and I've been crying all day. I feel like I'm such a pussy compared to those Vietnam guys, man.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
Dude's just so much respect for him. I
exactly.
feel so bad for him and my sister, Bob too, and Rachel. I don't have the words. So, yeah, it's been a bad day, but we're doing the show. We're doing the haunt. Luckily we had the show pre-planned, so we got that out of the way. Brett's got my damn Blu-ray. I need to bring it back, so I need my Blu-ray back.
Oh, let me grab that real quick so I can show it.
And I'm sorry I'm coughing. These allergies have killed me being out in that haunted house for 2 weeks. And yeah, we need to show off the video. He's got it.
I got it here.
And I've had such a rough day. I've got some new stuff here. This is 360 Madagascar vanilla vodka, and it tastes sweet. It's a sweet vanilla. I needed this drink, man. I needed it.
Man, shit. It's been bad couple of days.
Well, and about 2 months ago, my niece and her husband's garage caught on fire. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah, that's all I can say.
if everybody would send out good vibes, prayers, or whatever you do for
Whatever you do, man.
everybody that we just discussed. So, yeah,
But we'll
bummer.
get, yeah, but we're going to go ahead and move on with the show. As y'all remember, we've been doing Hammer vampire films for about a year now,
Yeah, it has been maybe longer than that.
maybe longer than that. I think it's been longer than that.
Yeah.
So I warned you, we're getting to the abyss of the Hammer Draculas. I wish I would. I haven't coughed until I got on the air here. I am so
T-
sorry,
Take
everybody.
another shot. Just do a shot out of that bottle. Fuck that.
I'm good.
Fuck that ice. Yeah, we're doing. Actually, it's the seventh Dracula film produced by Hammer Films. So
And it's Dracula AD 72.
yes, it is. Or as I like to call it, Dracula versus the hippies.
Yeah, that's sort of an appropriate name.
Uh,
Um, Apparently the movie Count Yorga, which I've tried to get Brett to watch with to no avail so far, influenced Hammer to thinking that they could bring Dracula to the modern day, and that's exactly what they did. This is the first of two modern day 1970 modern. I mean, when they filmed them, it was. Now it's over 50 years old,
yeah.
which might give it a little bit of redemption since it's looking back to the 70s. I think if you'd have seen it in the 70s, it would have been worse. That's my take on it. I used to hate this movie, but I'm giving it a chance this time.
Okay. All right.
So I'll let you hit it. What
Like
the
I
hell?
said, it's the seventh Dracula film in the Hammer series, directed by Alan Gibson. And he was like a totally new director for Hammer at the time. He's actually Canadian. And screenplay by Don Houghton, based on Count Dracula and Professor Van Helsing by Bram Stoker. Produced by Josephine Douglas. Cinematography by Dick Bush. Edited by James Needs. Music by Mike Vickers.
That music. Oh my God.
Dude, I actually like that music.
You like that score?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. The 70s grindhouse shit, you know. Like we said, production company is Hammer Film Productions, distributed by Columbia Warner Distributors,
When
which
did
is
Columbia and Warner ever have any connection?
it's just Warner now.
Well, Columbia would have been CBS, I believe.
Release date 28th of September of 1972. Has a running time of 96 minutes.
I would have been 1 year old.
1 year old. Oh.
So this is the first Hammer film I've been alive for, I guess.
Country United Kingdom, English language,
Reportedly.
reportedly.
There's some hippie dialogue in this movie. And I don't
Yeah.
understand hippie.
You don't understand
I
hippie?
do not know.
All right. Well, since you're on the hippie streak, why don't you go ahead and give us the plot of this one, Carl?
Okay, so it starts out, it does not follow Scars of Dracula. This sort of has a different ending. It's like, I feel like there was probably another movie in between Scars of Dracula and this one that they never made. That's what we're going to go with. So it's a different ending. Van Helsing has returned after being conspicuously missing for several movies. And him and Dracula are having a duke out. They're on this damn carriage fighting each other, and it goes on for a bit. Dracula has a servant named Alucard in this. I don't know how that guy was alive in the 1800s and comes back in the 70s, but either way, Van Helsing gets Dracula, stakes him with a buggy wheel, isn't it?
Yep.
And I
Carriage wheel.
think Van Helsing dies in this too.
Yep. He gets thrown off to the side there.
So both Dracula and Van Helsing are both dead. And I guess they stay dead for about maybe 100 years. So we fast forward to 1972, London. And geez, heck, this Alucard guy, which is Dracula backwards, is running around with the hippies. And somehow, some way, there's a 70s hippies band playing at this rich guy's mansion. I don't know how that happened or why it happened, but they are pissed. I guess it was the rich guy's son brought him there or something. And this is actually a very tame movie. I would have thought it would have been some pretty explicit nudity in it, but
Oh,
there
it
was
was
not.
rated PG.
PG, very low key movie, but not a lot of drug use or nothing. It's just these hippies hanging around having a big party in this dude's mansion. And Alucard is there. And yeah, it's just, if you can get past this first 10 minutes of the movie, you'll be doing yourself a favor because it's a very, 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 very hard for me to get through that. It goes on about 10 good minutes of this hippie band playing, and finally the cops show up, or they call them the fuzz in this, and they
Yeah.
all leave. I don't know, man. For this, I got to use some of this vampire fang venom, I believe, just to the hippies off. So this Alucard is buddies with I forget what her name is, Van Helsing, who is the great, 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 great granddaughter of one of the Van Helsings, I guess. But her grandfather is alive in this world. So she and her friends are going to a black mass that Alucard is going to perform, and the shit hits the fan. And
Yep.
Dracula is resurrected. And that's that. Then it actually gets to be a pretty okay movie after we get these hippies, a few of them killed off. Look, I am not a fan of the 70s culture. It was, growing up with my dad, yeah, he definitely was not. My sister, is still a hippie. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I always related to that song. What was it? All the young dudes, where my brother, with his Beatles and his Stones, never understood that revolution stuff. That was me. I don't get it. I don't get the Beatles. I don't get the peace. I don't get the hippies. I never have got that whole thing.
Okay.
I'm a child of the 80s, and we were for anarchy. Anarchy, baby. No peace.
All right, Carl. I got a question for you. Just by the look at some of these hippies, they were doing
They were on acid, I
LSD.
guess.
Now, if Dracula was to bite one of these hippies on acid, would he be tripping balls too?
No,
Okay.
he's immune to poisons and drugs.
Okay. All right.
You
Just
woke Chatterbox up back there for this.
just wanted to clear that up there.
No, he would not get high on the acid. But that's where we'll take it, and it goes from there. And
Bummer, because it might have been a better movie.
Christopher Lee sort of checks in this one. He don't really have much of a. He don't do a very good job, really.
Yeah.
How did they get him to do this? I don't know.
I don't know. We'll get into that when we go through the trivia.
Because he's always bitching about how he hates all these terrible Dracula movies, and then he ends up in this one.
All right. Let's
So
go over
that's the plot. Let's go over the cast now.
Let's go over the cast. First off, we got, of course, Christopher Lee as Count Dracula.
This would be his 6th appearance in the Hammer Dracula series, since he was not in one of them.
Yeah.
Which is still our most viewed show ever, Brides of Dracula.
And Peter Cushing as Lorimer Van Helsing and Lawrence Van Helsing. And
The great grandsons of The original Abraham Van Helsing, I guess.
Well, Lawrence Van Helsing, I guess, is actually supposed to be the Abraham part, but they changed the name, which I don't know why. So
Who the hell knows? These people were tripping, literally tripping.
literally, and this was Peter Cushing's first role as Van Helsing again since Brides of Dracula. So
Still our most watched episode ever.
next we got Stephanie Beacham as Jessica Van Helsing.
That's the granddaughter.
Christopher Nemi as John Alucard.
Alucard,
Yeah.
which is Dracula backwards. They
Oh, it
use that
is.
in one of the Universal
Oh, it
movies.
is, isn't it? That's dumb.
God, I wish I'd quit coughing. I think Son of Dracula, they called him Alucard in that.
Oh, Jesus.
That's a movie we're gonna have to review someday. It's got uh I forget who's in it. I'm about to have another coughing attack, so keep talking.
Next, we got Marsha Hunt as Gaynor Keating.
Lon Chaney Jr. I can talk now. He's in Son of Dracula.
Caroline Munra as Laura Bellows. Janet Key as Anna Bryant. Michael Kitchen as Greg. Lolly Bowers as Martin, the Maltron party hostess. I think that was that old lady that was bitching about to call call the fuzz.
I think you're right.
Flanagan, whoever that is, as a go-go dancer. Stone Ground as themselves. They were the band at the party.
That was that terrible band.
That was some funky shit, dude. I was sort of getting into it.
I cannot deal with that kind of stuff. When I think of the 70s, I want Led Zeppelin. I want UFO. I want Old Scorpions. Give me some Bad Company. Not that shit. No. No.
Well, this was early 70s, so it was coming out of the.
Well, Zeppelin and Sabbath existed by this point.
Yeah, you're right.
I am clearly just a heavy metal guy, right?
Okay.
I guess that's just it. Because to me, music didn't even start till Led Zeppelin came along. I guess Elvis was okay, but dude, yeah, I can't deal with this stuff. Why couldn't they had like a Led Zeppelin band in this thing instead of
Well, they were supposed to have the band The Faces.
who the hell are they?
They were like a big British band back in the day.
They probably suck too. The only thing I can semi take from the 60s or psychedelic shit would be the Doors.
Okay.
I like some of the Doors stuff and then some of the later Pink Floyd after the Sid, whatever his name is, left.
Sid Barrett.
Yeah. That's just not a time frame I can deal with musically. I'm sorry. I'm just too much of a 80s kid with it's just too much for me. But I get past it. I made it. I survived.
All right, next we got Michael Coles as Inspector Murray. And I'm not going to name all these damn hippies.
Fuck the hippies, man.
And then we got
instead of man, like they would have said it. How'd you like that?
So yeah, there's like 10 hippies. I'm not going to name them all.
Yeah, screw that.
Everybody knows what a hippie looks like.
Just like a pumpkin head. That's what a pumpkin head looks like, not that damn thing from the Pumpkinhead movie. I'll tell you what, this movie, if it would have took a turn in the wrong direction, it could have been worse than that damn Andy Warhol's Dracula. Hey, come here. We have a special guest. Come on.
Since we're talking about the music, let's go over the soundtrack a little bit here.
I got Halloween here. She wanted to say hi, but she got mad when you
This was actually composed by Mike Vickers of Manfred Man.
I have no idea who the hell that is.
Another British band that was pretty big back in the day. And he sort of made it like the black exploitation style movie, like I was talking about the old grindhouse movies and all that back in the day.
I have no idea who he is. The only British bands from that era I know is Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin. That's it. And Deep Purple. Don't forget Deep Purple.
Can't forget Deep Purple.
I'm just in a box, Brett. I am, and I'm really in a box.
Oh shit. No, they didn't actually release the soundtrack until 2009. Wonder why that is.
Why the fuck did they release it then?
I don't know.
Well, I don't want it.
And that band, the band Stone Ground's actually an American band. And the two songs they played are You Better Come Through For Me and Alligator Man, which I loved Alligator Man, dude. That was awesome. I don't see how you cannot like that.
I do not like that.
Uh,
No.
like I said, they were a replacement for the Faces, who had other
Think
shit
how good
going
that movie
on.
would have been if they freaking UFO would have been in it.
Well, have you heard UFO stuff from 69,
No,
1970?
let's just pass that and
There you go.
go to Too Hot to Handle.
There,
The only band from that Black Sabbath was the greatest band ever with their debut album.
yeah.
That song Black Sabbath still sounds like a modern song to me.
Here's the Blu-ray.
Yeah, that Brett's stolen.
There ain't really wasn't no special features or
That
nothing.
is a Warner Brothers archive release.
Okay.
They make them on demand.
Make them on demand.
Pretty much.
Really. There's the
Warner
back.
Archive. Much credit to Warner Brothers for still putting out stuff on Blu-ray. They're one of the few that do.
They cleaned it up really good. It looked
It
really
looks
good.
absolutely great. That and the next film in the series, which is Satanic Rites of Dracula, both look so good. One of the best looking Blu-rays I've seen, actually. So yeah, Warner does a great job with their stuff. They always have. There is no special features. That's not what they're in the business for. They're just in the business. They put these things out and make them look good, and they excel at that. So I would give this thing a 4-star. It's got the sound's good on it.
Yeah.
Besides that music, and the picture's great. It'd be great to at least have it maybe a commentary track, but that's not what they do. That's not what Warner Archives does. So
Yeah. They just throw the movie out there.
it's definitely it's hard to find this movie. I think that's why you got my Blu-ray. You couldn't find it on streaming without.
Yeah, I couldn't find it on streaming at all. Nowhere. Well,
Yeah,
Prime's got it, but they wanted like $6.99 to
to
rent it.
rent it.
It's like,
I have it on Vudu, but it's a standard definition edition.
gotcha. But yeah, I give the Blu-ray about a 4 too. They did a good job on it for sure.
They
So,
did.
all right, well, I guess we'll get into some trivia here.
Let's do it.
The character of Jessica Van Helsing was originally written to be the daughter of Professor Van Helsing. However, the death of Peter Cushing's wife aged him considerably, so they changed the script and was quickly rewritten to make him Jessica's grandfather.
Yeah, this was around the time his wife passed away.
And Peter Cushing kept a picture of his deceased wife on the desk in his office in the movie. Let's see here. This film was inspired by the story of the Highgate vampire, a media sensation surrounding reports of a supposed supernatural activity in Highgate Cemetery in London in the early 70s.
I remember that story briefly.
I didn't know nothing about it until I read up on it the other day. This film was released only 2 days before the film Horror Express 1972,
That's a
which
good movie.
which likewise starred Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing. I bet it has to do with a train.
It does. I have an Arrow video version of that,
Oh,
which has all
really?
kinds of special features.
Huh.
And it
Cool.
doesn't have hippies.
Dracula's taunting of Van Helsing in the church. You would play your brains against mine, against me, who has commanded nations. Directly references Dracula's dialogue from Bram Stoker's novel. Whilst they played wits against me, who commanded nations and intrigued for them and fought for them hundreds of years before they were born. I was, how the hell do you say that? Countermining them.
That sounds like something that Vlad Tepes might have actually said, honestly,
Exactly.
when he was killing the Turks, Ottomans, Turks. I never knew the difference between an Ottoman and a Turk, actually.
Michael Coles reprised his role as Inspector Murray in The Satanic Rites of Dracula in 1973. Besides Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing, he was the only actor to play the same character in more than one Hammer Dracula film.
Yeah, the daughter gets recast in Satanic Rites as well, or the granddaughter, I should say.
And we were talking earlier about Christopher Lee not doing a very good job in this. It's because he hated the script.
Who
He
could fucking blame him?
he was appalled by it, as a matter of fact.
Don't blame him.
He bitched about a lot of the scripts though
He
for the
bitched about every script, I think, except for maybe the first one.
but I guess money talks. So
Remember the Count Dracula Prince of Darkness? He didn't even talk in it. Yeah, he bitched about all the movies he did with Dracula. I think he liked that Jess Franco Dracula better than any of them,
yeah,
which we reviewed on the last non-Hammer Dracula review.
yeah,
Remember, we're reviewing non-Hammer Draculas as we go along here too.
yeah. We're trying to get them around to the same years they
I
were.
think that Jack Palance is coming up next.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we should have actually did the Count Yorga before this one, but
It's
we
not a
did.
Dracula.
Oh, it's not.
It's a Count Yorga. Don't
Okay.
you get it, Brett? There's a whole lot of Count vampires out there,
Okay.
just like
Okay.
Count Karabi.
All
You
right.
know, when people call Count Karabi Dracula, he gets all pissed off and starts yelling at him. Says, I am not Dracula. Count Yorga was not Dracula.
The
There's
title
several dozen Count vampires, dude. Then we got Barons. There's
Bear.
Baron vampires.
Okay.
We're all royalty in the vampire world, damn it.
The title of the film was changed to Dracula Today for its August 28th, 1981 airing on the CBS late movie. That sounds dumb. Dracula Today. It sounds like a fucking morning show.
Yeah, sort of.
It was also renamed Dracula 73 for its French and Spanish releases because it didn't
Came out in
reach theaters.
73.
Yeah, it didn't. It was a year later. So
Well, I guess that makes sense.
let's see here. Yeah, here we go. In the opening scenes, the narrator refers to the original Van Helsing as Dr. Lawrence Van Helsing, despite the fact that his initials in the first sequel were JVH, and in the novel, Van Helsing's first name was Abraham. So, yeah.
Man of many names, I guess.
Caroline Monroe observed how Peter Cushing would retreat to his dressing room between takes. He must have been tore up about his wife
He
passing.
was. It almost ended his career. He missed several movies. There were a couple Hammer films he did not do because of after he lost his wife.
Film takes place in September of 1872 and September of 1972. Let's see. Tim Burton says this is one of his favorite films.
Well, Tim Burton's a weirdo.
Lawrence Van Helsing was born on July 12th, 1814, and died on September 18th, 1872.
We don't have Dracula, but we got Halloween here.
Ooh, she's fluffy.
She is fluffy. She's been staying in a lot since it cooled off some.
She's probably going to get more fluffier with it getting cold outside.
Well, it's going to get hot again, so it don't matter.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 90s again next week. Damn it.
Good.
It's the end of October
rain.
almost. The opening scene was a last reminder of Hammer's former glory days. Because it did start like a. That sort of threw me off when it started because I was like, that ain't 1972. In the film, Johnny Alucard is and his friends arrange their ritual to coincide with the feast day of Belphegor. In Christian demonology, Belphegor is a demon who personifies sloth, which is one of the 7 deadly sins, I guess.
It is. Sloth is.
Joseph Van Helsing was born June 11th, 1783, and died on May 2nd, 1847.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Too many Van Helsings for me.
Too many. Why didn't they just have the original one, and then why do you have to show all the along the line, you know?
There's a whole line of them, dude. Just like there's a bunch of count vampires. It's tradition.
Among the demons invoked by Johnny Alucard in this ritual is Behemoth. Behemoth is a character from the Book of Job, a primeval chaos monster. He is thought to be a mythological depiction of a hippopotamus.
Gluttony.
Yeah.
Yep, he's the demon of gluttony. I'm showing all my demon knowledge off now, I guess.
Damn demons. Let's see here. Johnny Alucard's Triumph Stag register. Oh, his car was RVC 425H, would appear again in George and Mildred's what? Season 1, episode 7. What's that?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Who the hell's George and Mildred? I don't
Dude,
even know.
you're talking. You drop some acid now.
I'm just reading off the screen
That's
here,
all you
dude.
got. I guess we're done.
Yeah, that's about it. We've talked about a lot of the other
You
stuff.
done ruined the show with whatever the hell you just said.
I fucked it all up.
You just did.
All right, whatever. How do you
You go
this?
first. I want to hear you go first. Since you love the music so much.
I did like Gator Man. I really did like that song. I thought it was catchy.
Are you crazy?
No, I actually did like it. The other song wasn't that good. The first one they did. But yeah. But anyway, I think this might be the first time I've actually seen this movie. I don't ever remember seeing this before. I thought I maybe seen it when I was a little kid, but
You probably saw Satanic Rites of Dracula since it's also in the modern day.
But
the better movie, just saying. Way better movie.
Yeah, it just it was a little long and drawn out, you know, and wasn't even really that much blood.
No, it's a very tame movie.
They should have made it more bloody. Maybe it would have been a little better, you know, bumped it up to an R rating, maybe. Maybe a titty here every once in a while, maybe too. Because most Hammer films are like that, you know.
Not this one. It's a very, very PG movie.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking.
On Halloween.
But
Halloween's wanting
yeah, I
attention.
wasn't too impressed with this, man. I'm gonna have to give this one about a 2.
Oh, hell, a 2.
Yeah, wasn't
Well,
impressed. Sort of had a weird ending too. Not a
hey,
fan.
Halloween's not a fan. She's talking now. She just went, ah. You hear
Not a
that?
fan.
Well,
This is probably the worst one out of all of them, dude, out so far.
well, it gets worse when you get to that Dracula meets the seven brothers, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, I guess we'll have
Um,
to see then if
we
it's
might
worse
not
for
even
this
do
one.
that when it doesn't have Christopher Lee in it. So
Oh, okay.
I never liked this movie. Like I said, I'm not a fan of that 70s culture. It's just the way I was raised and being a kid of the 80s. The beginning of it's okay. You know, you got Van Helsing and Dracula fighting. Then you bring those damn hippies in, and it just, yeah.
Sort of went down from there. What went
It actually
downhill?
picks back up, I think, after you get past that. And then Johnny Alculard does his black mass, and people start dying, and Dracula starts feeding, and, you know, Van Helsing starts fighting, and I kind of dig it. If they cut that music scene down to about maybe 30 seconds, I think this might be a good movie. That
Yeah.
music, that sequence just ruined it for me. But
I just don't. Plus, I just don't think Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing both were into
neither
it.
one, you know, and Peter Cushing had lost his almost at his father, his wife, and he just wasn't into it. And Christopher Lee checked himself. He just was just didn't even look good in his makeup with his eyes. Um, I guess I could give this thing a looking at it with older eyes, maybe a 2.25, maybe a 2.5.
Okay.
Definitely not as good as Satanic Rites of Dracula, which comes next.
Okay.
That is what I've said over and over is my guilty pleasure movie. This is not.
No.
It's definitely better than some like that damn Andy Warhol's Dracula by a million.
I knew you were gonna fucking bring that up.
It's better than I don't know. I thought the Count Dracula, the Jess Franco that you wasn't a fan of, is definitely a better movie that came out around the same time. But we're gonna move on to the Satanic Rites of Dracula, and we're gonna do that sooner than later, I think.
Yeah.
We may do that next month.
Yeah.
I
So
want you to see how that works.
yeah.
That's all I got. I can't
Maybe I can find it on streaming.
doubtful. You'll probably have to borrow my Blu-ray again. That's in public domain a lot. I don't know. Warner somehow lost the license of that movie at some point, and they got it back now. So
Hmm. Might be on YouTube then.
it's got like 50 different names. It's all yeah. It's got some black masses really going on in that movie. But yeah, this movie's very forgetful, and I think it's best just to forget that it exists.
Yeah, not a big
I
fan.
don't recommend watching it. It's just it's if I could cut the movie down, I might could make a good director's cut if I were a producer's cut or whatever you want to call it. Other than that, let's just forget this movie exists.
Boo.
But you kind of have to watch this to get to the next one.
Yeah, you do.
So it's a true sequel.
There you go.
Well, that's all we got on Dracula 8072. It's a thumbs down.
For sure. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching, listening. Hit that like and subscribe. Check us out on all the social medias. And that's it. Carl's gonna go look at Halloween lights again.
Yeah. Check out my Facebook page if you're interested in helping on all these different fires because I'm posting links as I go. You know, one just happened less than 24 hours ago, so I don't have a lot of information yet, but any help would be I'm grateful. And let's just hope for a better week coming up and as we head to the haunted house next weekend.
Exactly. Clear skies and 80s. So
And lots of fire extinguishers.
knock on wood.
It
All
ain't
right,
gonna rain.
everybody.
It ain't gonna rain.
All right. Stayevil, everybody.
Lawrence Van Helsing died September the 18th, 1872, 100 years ago to the day.
My grandfather died fighting the vampire. The most terrible, most dangerous vampire of all time.
It seems as if someone's tried to drain the whole body of blood.
Her body was drained of blood. That's the part that really worries me. Why would anyone do that?
Jessica.
Disciple of Dracula. Oh my God.
Unless it is stopped, it will continue to infect others. Please, let me help. Look on me. Count Dracula!